Now I get to another gripe of mine. And that is a tendency in healthcare IT to make healthcare fit the IT model instead of the other way around. And this is my favorite example. This is a diagram that SKL is Swedish regions and counties. These are the people that actually run healthcare in Sweden. Right? This is a diagram they made because they want to impose a model on healthcare because they want to measure it. And they even made a site specifically for this diagram. And they go out and train people to use this diagram or the process. And the process is more or less this, it's in Swedish, but it's the request for care, estimation of care, estimation of what you need to do, this is treatment cycle, plan the activities, do the activities, evaluate the result of the activities, and either end the episode of care or re-evaluate the need. Or possibly when you get here, you discover they don't need anything, and then it goes out. First of all, the type of diagram beats me. I don't know what is a state and what is an edge and what is whatever. It's probably something I missed. But some things are happening in the circles and some things are happening here. Okay, fine. Now, I modified this diagram, adding what I thought they missed. And this is this. It looks like a joke, it's not. I mean, for every one of these red arrows, I have concrete daily examples. It's like you evaluate the need here, you go up, you plan something, and then you discover there's nothing to plan, so out he goes. Or you need to reevaluate when you start planning because you discover that there are elements missing, and so forth and so forth. But the worst part is this, terminate, because where they want to go with this, they want to have a measurement of how many patients do we get in, how many have we actually finished treating, how long did this take, so how good are we? Now, you can't. Because I've never seen a patient where I could say, okay, I've finished treating this patient. There is no such thing. If he's dead, yeah, I can say he's dead, and even then, not being religious or anything, but even then, I could have made a mistake and registered him as dead. That has happened. I said, no, I need to back out of this. He's not dead after all, right? What do I do then if this diagram doesn't allow me? Do I send him to another country? That's crazy. For all other cases, you said you have a broken leg, when you fix that broken leg with plates, and after 3 months or something, you say that broken leg is fixed. You could say, okay, I finished treating him. No, you can't. Because 5 years later, he comes back with arthrosis in the knee. And you say, yeah, that's probably because of this fractured leg, because it wasn't perfectly straight. Is that a new disease? Is that the same thing going back in the evaluation or not? Cancer. We usually arbitrarily say that if you're operated for cancer, treated for cancer, and you don't have recurrence within 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, depending on the cancer, we arbitrarily say you are fixed, you are cured. But we don't say that really to say to the patient, okay, you're cured. We say, pretty good chance, you're going to make it. You do it because of studies, because that is usually an end point in scientific studies. You have to draw the line somewhere. But that has nothing to do with reality. Reality, you have an exponential diagram going now, where your chances of getting recurrence are getting less and less and less and less. They're never zero, but they're pretty low from the beginning. Now, which means if we do this, and we say after 5 years, because that's what you usually do for instance, breast cancer, we go out this way. Then I have two problems with that. First is, if we say that after 5 years, what's the point with the diagram? The diagram, the whole idea was to see how long it took to cure people. And then you discover, all breast cancers here are cured in 5 years. That's strange. But that's because you define them as cured after 5 years, so it's pointless. Second is, If you don't do that, and you have a patient that gets a recurrence after 4 years, it's then still in the treatment cycle for your cancer, right? If the same patient instead got it after 6 years, this is a patient that was cured that has the bad manners to actually get the recurrence. They can't have that because the diagram says they can't have that. So it must be a new cancer. What's the point? So you start measuring things that don't exist. This diagram, this whole model is now being trained in hospitals all over the place because they absolutely must have it to measure the efficacy of healthcare in Sweden. Now, if you actually want to measure just how fast you can treat patients and get them through, that sounds like a Dell call center, right? Now, if you want to get your cancer treated by a Dell call center, go ahead. Yeah?
Yeah, what do you do with chronic disease patients with complications? Are they always in the cycle?
They must stay in the cycle.
They go forever.
Until they die, and then they go out the bottom and to the right. I don't get it.
Excuse me, I don't understand the reason for some of these red lines. For example, if I'm going to point G to E, how does it work? The person seems to be fine and we directly go to do something?
Well, from my G,
After 7 to 0.5.
from 7 to, from G to, which one do you mean? Do you mean this one?
Most right,
H.
most right, H.
H? This one. Okay. So,
Could be an emergency, right?
I have the description on there. Yeah, it could be anything. Each of these letters I have described on my blog, so I didn't just draw them in. I wrote an example, but for the life of me, I forgot which one that was.
There is a reference to the blog in the lecture notes.
Yeah. You have the link to Swedish, so you have to find a Swede to translate it. Now, if anyone has connection, I don't have that here. So
Yeah, we all have.
yeah. So did you who has? Yeah, okay. So then I can see what I wrote. It was H, right? Not this one. The Vård IT.
Okay, yeah, I got that one. Jag har den på. Jag sökte. Där.
Ja, det är den.
Ja, det var den första där.
Ja, det är samma.
Ja, till bloggen.
Okej, ska vi se.
Jag ska till home där då, eller?
Jag har ju också min iPad med förstås. Search var den i search home. Det måste vara på
Funkar det inte med en flash?
Nej.
Nej.
SKL. SKL. Det var vårddisponenten Stillhammar, tror jag. Ja.
Och så lilla H då ska vi se.
Ja, då ska vi se. Yeah, okay, so the explanation for age is this. You plan, what you say to the patient is, look, if you, for instance, for a knee, right? They have pain in the knee, so you give them medication for that. And then you say, you know, if that's enough and you have no pain in a week or so, forget about it. That's it, we finished. But if the pain doesn't go away, you know what? Go and take an X-ray of your knee. So you already write in your notes, or you write a referral to X-ray, but you tell the patient, only go if you still have pain in a week. Okay? At that point, you actually close the case, because you don't expect to see the patient again. But if he still has symptoms, he goes right back into a planned activity. So even that pathological case is not infrequent. It actually happens quite often. Or you write them a prescription for antibiotics. Say, well, if your fever persists 2 more days, you know what? Go to the pharmacy and get these antibiotics. Otherwise, throw it away. That's pretty frequent. So that's arrow H. Some other arrow you doubt?
For example, okay, it is good to evaluate this after finish, but the reference to final evaluation should be either 2 or 6. Why do you send them back to both 2 and 6?
No, the 2. The 6 is the re-evaluation of the current planned therapies. The 2 is a re-evaluation if they need to be treated at all.
Okay, but you are sending it from G to both of them?
No, they're two different. No. Here from G there, but they're two different cases. It's J and I. Take my example. Okay, G, going from the end to the state 6, right? Is after I finish treating the patient, he can come back and show that he needs more treatment because the problem wasn't solved, even though I thought it was solved. It's typical for physiotherapy, for instance. I pain everywhere, I prescribe that, and I say, okay, it's fine. And then come back and say, no, I need more physiotherapy. That's that arrow, G. The arrow I go into position 2 is that after I finished, he comes back and I draw the conclusion, look, I probably didn't treat the right problem. Again, back pain. I send him to the physiotherapist and said that should solve the problem. But if it doesn't solve the problem, I'm going to start to look for other causes. Right? Then you have to go back all the way to 2. Because then you have to evaluate what's going on, not just the therapy. Any others while I'm still at it? Okay. That won't stop them from doing this anyway, right? Okay.